Empress Dowager of China arrive in a small town in Sicily. In an attempt to get to the mainland with Martin Garçon to continue their journey to China, they set sail on a boat given to them by the villagers. But unfortunately, at night, the wind rises while Jules is at the wheel. When Martin and Julie wake up, it's too late, and the boat runs aground on a reef only a few miles off the Italian coast. Martin and Jules are injured as they struggle against the elements. They manage to escape in a lifeboat, which begins to drift away. Julie, the only one aboard with any strength, tries to use the power to save them. At last, she makes out a boat on the horizon and is able to signal for help. They're picked up just in time. They discover that Professor Ledoux is on board, and he tells them that the boat is heading for China. How many times have you faced death, Martin?
Now I'd rather not think about it, Professor Leopold. I've always escaped by the skin of my teeth. I'm an adventurer.
But then constant danger is what keeps adventurers like you going, so they say.
I can see that you're trying to tell me something, my dear Leopold.
I realize you're a man of above-average intelligence. That's precisely what I was trying to tell you, Martin. Oh, it's one thing for you always to be putting your life at risk. But when you endanger the lives of two innocent children as well... Now that's a totally different matter, my dear fellow, isn't it? If I said something amusing, I'd much rather you told me what it was.
Oh, it's just that you don't know the twins as well as I do. Leopold, in all my years as a sailor, or if you prefer as an adventurer, I'd never faced so many dangers as I have since meeting those children.
You're joking. That can't be true.
Me joking? Let me tell you, sir, the very same day I first met those children, I was attacked by Po Dung and his entire gang of eunuchs. Think for a moment what it was like to be chased out of Shanghai by that bunch of maniacs, with them all yelling at you and trying to shoot you.
Hard to imagine.
And no sooner had we reached the open sea than Kung Lee, the cruelest of all pirates, was behind us. That was a day I'll never forget. Half the pirates in China on our heels.
After them, men! Don't let them get away!
If you'd seen Tournier, you'd have thought he was a sentry, standing stiffly to attention on deck whilst cannonballs whistled past our ears. Such courage. It was a wonderful sight. They're firing on us!
Were the twins there with you too?
Were they with us? Oh, they were with us, all right. It was because of them the pirates were after us, you see? And then, suddenly, all the pirate ships stopped firing, and just the same way as the Red Sea parted to allow Moses to pass through, they left a clear field for Kung Lee. Oh, yes, I remember that very clearly. And Jules and Julie were only newborn babes then.
What an incredible adventure.
I admit the next few years were peaceful, with only a couple of skirmishes with some privateers or maybe a bit of gun running. And in the meantime, the twins, well, they lived with Tournier, but no sooner were they back with me when the problem started up all over again.
But why, Martin? Why do all these incredible things happen?
Well, why not ask them yourself, my dear fellow?
Oh, you do look better now, Martin. It's good to see you back to normal. I'm so pleased.
Ah, that's thanks to Professor Leopold's
Oh,
help.
Piffle, it was nothing. All I did was to clean up the wound and put a little antiseptic on it.
Come now, you deserve more credit than that. And believe me, I won't forget Julie's share in what happened. She saved my life.
Perhaps, but I couldn't have done it without Jules's help.
I don't remember being much use to you. I was as helpless as a baby. I have to agree with Martin, Julie. This time it's you who deserves all the glory.
Oh yes, Professor Leopold was just asking me why it is we seem to have nothing but trouble all the time.
What do you mean by trouble?
Oh, come on now, Jules, be honest. The professor knows that half the population of China is after us. Also, that we've been attacked by pirates and our lives have been put at risk at least half a dozen times. Not surprising that he wonders what's going on. Considering all that, perhaps you'd like to tell him.
I suddenly feel hungry. How about getting some breakfast, Julie?
Now that's what I call changing the subject. It doesn't look like they want to tell you.
I failed you, Podung. Yet I did catch them. They were just as close to me as you are now.
I suppose their magic power saved them.
No, and that's what makes me so ashamed. An old man helped them right at the very last moment. I swear to you, I've never seen anyone handle a sword as well as he did. And they call me the Executioner. How tragic. Now you must do with me as you think fit.
These accursed children of the moon attract defenders just as surely as bees to honey.
What punishment do you have in store for me?
No punishment.
No punishment? But I deserve to be punished, Podung, and well I know it.
If I did, I should have to punish myself as well. The captain of the ship on which the twins sailed was not able to kill them. They managed to escape from the pirates whom I paid to board the ship by throwing themselves into the sea.
Maybe they are dead, who can tell?
No, Chan Man, something tells me they are still alive. There will be two objectives today. First, to find which boats have sailed from Italy for China in the past few days.
And what is the other objective?
A very shameful one. I shall have to send a message to the Empress Dowager asking for more units to help me.
Oh, Jules, it's such a long time since I felt as good as this.
That's what a good breakfast does for you.
A good breakfast? After all the food you just ate, I do hope there'll still be something left for the crew.
Well, I see you've both found your sea legs at last.
No, not found. I already had sea legs when I was in the cradle, sir.
Is that right? Well, young man, you have a very short memory. You didn't look like much of a sailor when we fished you out of the sea 2 days ago. That's the truth. Don't take it to heart, my boy. I'm not sure if I'd have coped better myself if I'd have been tossed about in a tiny boat like that, eh?
I tell you what, I really like this boat, though, this cargo ship. It's much bigger than the old German boat we were on before.
It's wonderful.
But of course it is. It's Italian, like its crew. Don't laugh at me. I'm as serious as a pope when I say that. You have to realize that the Italians are a proud people. They have a long history of great sailors.
Oh, I'm sorry. We weren't laughing at you, sir.
You don't have to call me, sir. I'm only an ordinary sailor. My name is Federico. Anyway, you only call officers, sirs, like Captain Dieter. So, have you seen Captain Dieter, no?
No, we
No,
haven't met
not
him
yet.
yet.
Would you like to meet the captain?
Oh, yes, of course. That would be wonderful.
I don't know. I don't know whether that would be a good thing for you, because Captain Dieter is the wickedest captain I've ever known. There, I was only joking. Don't worry, Captain Dieter is very kind. You'll see now. I'll bet you like him. And he like you, too.
Change course 15 degrees south, Bonacera. It must be time.
Aye, aye, Captain. 15 degrees south. Starting to turn now, no problem.
What do you make our heading, Mr. Gatto?
The ship's on a direct line for the island of Kefalonia, Captain.
Good. Maintain current speed, and we should arrive in Argostolian by dawn tomorrow if we don't run into any trouble.
I hope you're right, Captain. The sooner we get rid of that big pile of guns and ammunition we're carrying in the cargo hold, the happier I'll be.
May I remind you, however, the company assures us our cargo is all legal and above board, Bonacera.
Of course, Captain. I know that. I'm sorry.
But between us, I admit that if I had the choice, I'd be much happier transporting olive oil than guns, and that's a fact.
Yes, Captain. Me too.
These must be our new passengers, Federico, is that right?
That's right, Captain. I was thinking perhaps you would like to meet them. And may I present Jules and Julie Tournier.
Welcome on board. It's always a pleasure to meet a pretty lady like yourself. Jules is a good Christian name. The only French author whose books I'd like to read is called Jules.
You must mean Jules Verne, Captain. In fact, I was named after him.
Yes, people tell me he wrote some fine books about the sea. You must know something about the sea then, Jules, I'm certain.
Well, you could say that. I've spent most of my life on a boat.
In that case, my young friend, please let me have a look at your hands. That's most interesting. You have very strong hands. Ooh, these are not town dwellers' hands. I can see that much straight away.
Have you worked hard then, my dear boy?
Oh, yes, I have, Captain.
Well, you can be proud of hands like that. I remember when I was a cabin boy, knee-high to a grasshopper. So if you get seasick, Federico, all we have to do is let Jules take over from you.
That's right, Captain.
Well, welcome aboard this boat, both of you. So if I understand correctly, children, you're coming all the way to China with us.
That's right. In fact, Mr. Garson told us he'd probably be able to get some money soon so we can all pay for our journey.
Don't worry yourselves about that. There's no problem. Garson is a sailor. His word is more than enough for me. We'll have plenty of time to make friends in the next few months.
Did you say months?
Yes, 2 at least.
2 whole months, Captain?
But what did you expect, my boy? Did you think we were going straight to China, perhaps?
I just thought it wouldn't take as long as all that to sail down to Shanghai.
And you'd have been right if we only stopped to pick up fuel like a passenger boat does. But this is a cargo boat, and we'll be stopping all over the place on the way. You'll be here for a good while yet, but in the meantime, you'll eat well, get to meet interesting people, and see marvelous places. You know, I wish I was still your age.
2 months, Jules. What are we going to do? We can't wait that long.
I don't know, but I do know we have to be in China a lot quicker than that. Our fathers desperately need our help.
I don't know if I can put up with this for much longer. It's getting more and more difficult.
Well, children, that's about the end of the visit. Captain Detail has plenty of work to be getting on with now. So why don't we all go below deck and see if we can find something nice to eat in the galley?
Thanks very much, Federico, but we're not really hungry.
What? Children without an appetite? I don't believe it. I thought I'd heard everything, but that's a new one.
Sorry, but it's time we did a bit of serious talking. You do agree with me then, don't you, Julie?
Yes, Jules, you're right. We have to have a serious talk.
The captain said it would take us at least 2 months to get to China.
And there's nothing we can do about it. Oh, if only we could fly.
And anything could happen in 2 months. Po Dun could even pick up our trail again and send a gang of eunuchs to one of our ports of call. So the more stops we make, the greater the danger.
And I thought we'd soon be reunited with our long-lost fathers. Oh, it'll be agony to have to wait that long.
We won't have to, Julie. We will get to China, and it won't take us anything like 2 months either.
But the captain told us that we wouldn't...
Yes, I heard what he told us. We'll make him change his mind, and he'll take us straight to China. And we'll only have to stop to take on fuel. I really don't want to come face to face with Po Dung's eunuchs again. Once would have been enough for me.
There's no way of doing it, Jules.
Oh, yes, there is, Julie. You're forgetting what Giovan told us about having the power to control people's minds. What's the matter, Julie? What's wrong?
It just doesn't seem right.
Why not? Think about it. We wouldn't have been given this incredible power if we weren't supposed to use it occasionally.
But listen, Jules, I really don't think we're supposed to use the power like this. I mean,
That's absolutely ridiculous. We know we can use it to help us get to China, don't we?
Yes, but this ship will have lots of scheduled stops to make. It'll be unloading or taking on new cargo. And anyway, we're not the only passengers.
Well, they can all get off when we stop for fuel, can't they?
I don't know whether we'd be doing the right thing.
Well, I do. We simply can't just wait around for 2 months for this boat to take us to China. We'd always be running the risk of being caught by the eunuchs during the entire voyage. We'll just have to use the 7th power to help us get there faster.
Jules, you know very well that I've always done what you wanted. I've always agreed with you in the past. We're not going to disagree now. I'll do what you want. But all the same, I'm not sure if it's right.
You'll find I'm right, Julie. We really have no choice. You'll thank me when we finally get to China.
How much longer do we have to hide under here like this?
Shh. Do you want somebody to hear you?
Who? There's nobody about. I'm tired of standing around here.
The captain will have to come this way sometime, and we'll be ready. We're waiting here so that he can't get past us when he does come.
Then in that case, I hope he'll be coming soon because I'm slowly freezing to death here. I don't want to turn into an icicle, Jules.
Remember now, when he does come... Oh, someone's coming.
Power makes you strong, but perhaps you are wrong. Simply listen to your heart and you'll know what's right. Listen to your heart and you will be able to act.
What's the matter, Jules? What is it?
That sailor just now, didn't you see him go past, Julie?
No, you must have imagined it.
No, he couldn't have been, but it looked like Giovanni. No, it couldn't have been. You're right. It must have been my imagination.
Well, I didn't see anything anyway. Whether it was Giovanni or not, I don't think it would be right to use the seventh power, if you ask me.
I'm going down to dine in my cabin, Bonacera. Remember, call me at once if there's any problem.
Aye, aye, Captain.
There he is. Let's do it now.
Oh, there you are, children. And how are my new shipmates this evening?
Very well indeed, thank you, Captain. Although,
Yes, what is it?
well, the fact of the matter is, we'd like to go straight to China.
Unfortunately, I don't think I can do anything about that.
We call the seventh of the seven powers.
My, what on earth is that strange light?
It would be much better for us to go directly to China, Captain. It would be much better for us if we went directly to China, Captain.
It would be much better for us if we went directly to China.
Yes, it would be far better for you to change course immediately, Captain, in order to protect the boat from the Greek revolutionary terrorists.
I'd better change course in order to protect the boat from the Greek revolutionary terrorists. Yes, it would be better to change course in order to protect the boat from the Greek revolutionary terrorists.
We did it, Julie. We did it. We actually made him do what we said. But tell me, what was that stuff about Greek terrorists all about?
I just thought he might need an explanation for changing course, so... Oh,
What's the matter, Julie?
I don't know, but suddenly I feel so tired, exhausted.
Of course you feel tired, Julie. Giovanni did warn us that when we used the seventh power, we'd feel very tired. Oh, come on, Julie. I'll take you back to the cabin.
I don't really know if I can walk that far.
We'll manage, don't worry. We'll be able to sleep. And then straight to China.
Yes, Jules, straight to China.
Does Podung think I'm a fool? If he were not a eunuch, he'd make a good general. He attempts to make his defeat sound like anything but a defeat. Ha! Sit down and listen to the message he sends. Your Highness, I have the pleasure of informing you that I have picked up the trail of the twins on an Italian merchant ship, the Genoa, sailing from Sicily to China. My plan is as follows, that you send me a force of eunuchs from China to intercept them while I organize an attack from the rear. In this way, the twins will surely be caught in our net, and we shall destroy the pair of them. Your humble and devoted servant, Podung.
The incompetent fool's failed in his mission. A merchant ship bound for China, which means, in fact, that they're near the end of their journey.
When they reach China, the people will follow their leadership, and we'll have a revolution on our hands.
So will you at last grant my request, Highness? Give me permission now to lead a force of my own soldiers against them.
Sadly, I dare not risk the anger of the world, which is even now rising against us. Those foreigners will cry like wolves if Chinese soldiers fight on their land. Yet I shall not give in to Podung's request. I have decided he will have no more eunuchs to increase his shame.
You know my feelings about Podung, Majesty, but I have to say that his plan is a bad one. My troops would simply surround the twins and have no problem catching them.
No, Podung's help will consist of one man alone. Summon the High Priest, Ho Chang!
Ho Chang is a powerful man indeed.
Yes, a powerful man, and only he is able to overcome the power which the Twins of Destiny possess.
No, that's not what I meant by powerful. I meant that all the priests in the land are under Ho Chang's control, and as you know, the priests control the peasants in turn. Therefore, Ho Chang has sufficient power to instigate a revolt against you, Majesty.
If Ho Chang is not able to overcome the Twins of Destiny, he will lose his influence with the priests. But if he does manage to beat them, I will have him eliminated and blame those protecting the twins, and in that way I will be rid of him for good. Bring him to me, General Zhang, and do it now. That's an order.
But, Captain, I don't know if that's a good idea.
I'm not going to say it again, Gatto. I gave an order. We're heading directly for Port Said.
But we have a cargo we have to unload at Argostolian.
Mr. Gatto, I am in command. From now on, keep your mind on the job you've been given. In other words, preparing a course following my orders.
All right, I understand, Captain.
When Gatto gives you the new course, you'll follow it at once, and you will set the engines to full ahead.
Captain, will you permit me to ask just what's going on?
No, but I do permit you to follow my orders. Do you understand, Mr. Bonacera?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Very well. I shall be in my cabin if you need me.
I don't like this, Vito. I'm sure there's something fishy going on somewhere.
You heard the captain's orders. We just have to set a course straight for Port Said.
But why not stop in Greece?
Look, the captain's a boss on board this ship, and we do whatever he tells us to, and that's good enough for me.
Jules, are you sleeping yet?
No, I'm awake.
I'm really frightened, Jules.
Don't you worry, little sister. It'll be all right.
Are you absolutely sure we did the right thing? Don't you think we ought to go back and try and undo what we did just now?
We have to get to China. That's the only thing that matters right now.
I can feel the boat turning. That's it. We're changing course. I really think we've gone too far this time.
Go to sleep. We'll talk about it tomorrow. You know something, Julie?
What's that, Jules?
I'm pretty sure it was Giovanni I saw walking on deck earlier on.
Oh, but I didn't see anything, honestly. What's it supposed to mean?
I don't know. Mind you, it could have been my imagination because I was scared. Scared of what I was doing.
I was frightened, too. We used the seventh power against friendly people who were only trying to help us. We forgot about the others, and that's a bad thing. I wish I hadn't helped you.
Yes, maybe, but it's done now, Julie. We'll soon find out what happens. Come on, we ought to try and get some sleep. We're both tired, and we might have quite a tough day tomorrow.
The change in course for which Jules and Julie are responsible will not go unnoticed by the passengers and the shipping authorities. You can find out what happens by watching the next episode of The Amazing Adventures of the Twins of Destiny.
When the world is no longer fun, when the stars are no longer shining, Jules and Julie never give in. The twins of destiny keep smiling, making a stand for their homeland. When the world is no longer fun,